Good evening, everyone. No, okay, wait, let's try that again. This is a graduation celebration. Good evening, everyone. That's better, that's better. Thank you, President Boggs, for that very kind introduction. I really am honored to join each and every one of you here this evening. I certainly want to thank Dr. Boggs, the faculty, and the entire administration of Antioch University, not only for this invitation today, but for your ongoing commitment to the education and social justice, not only here at Antioch, but beyond. I also want to thank my dear friend, Manny Madrano, a distinguished member of the Board of Trustees, for personally extending this invitation here today. And finally, and certainly most importantly, I want to commend all of the graduates here today, this evening, and to all the families and loved ones here for reaching this very momentous occasion. Looking out here and hearing this program today, I've been inspired to no end. It brings me back to 1988 when I graduated from Tufts University in Boston. I remember the feelings vividly that I had back then, a mixture of both great excitement on the one hand at the thought of all the new opportunities that may lay ahead for me, but also a little bit of apprehension about what exactly I would be doing after getting this parchment from Tufts University. So this afternoon, if you'll indulge me, I want to talk to you about the road that lies ahead for some of you and about some of the lessons that I've learned throughout my journey. It's my hope that some of the lessons that I've learned may serve as guidance to some of you and perhaps for some of you even some inspiration. I certainly know that given this economic climate that the world you are about to enter is indeed a challenging one. There's no denying that fact. But so was the world that I left when in 1988 when I left Tufts University. When I left Tufts, I really did not know what path or paths would lay ahead of me. You see, my family came over to this country from the island of Haiti, and my father worked very diligently to go from Haiti to Mexico City, where he studied medicine, and then to Newark, New Jersey, where he opened his practice. And for those of you, let me give you a little bit of education. Usually the son of immigrants are basically told what they will be doing with their life, not really having a choice. And with my father, I was told that I would be a doctor. But after a semester in chemistry and then biology, I was soon disabused of that notion. So believe me when I say I really did not know what path lay ahead for me after receiving my college degree. But I did know that I was proud to have that degree, and I knew I wanted to make the most of it, and I wanted to serve the public in some capacity. And perhaps, and I feel that after hearing the comments here today, there are many in this room that are in a similar situation, wanting to help the public. And so today, you are all poised to begin the next phase of your own journey. And as I look upon all the graduates here today, I'm reminded of the immortal words of the great Spanish poet Antonio Machado. And over a century ago, poet Machado wrote, "Searcher, there is no road. We make the road by walking it." I want to repeat that. We make the road by walking it. And I can't think of a more appropriate quote for this wonderful event this afternoon. Indeed, those words have been the inspiration for advocates of social justice for over a century. Most famously, they were the part of the core curriculum of educator Miles Horton. And for those of you that don't know, Miles Horton founded the influential Highlander Folk School in the early 20th century. And at the Highlander Folk School, many advocates for social change studied. Some of those graduates included Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. They studied at that school, yes. And it was at that school that they would learn learn the lessons that they would later rely on to ignite the modern civil rights movement in this country. Lessons in social justice like those you have all learned here at Antioch University. You too will make your road by walking it. Now, with that in mind, I want to address two subjects that helped me guide through my travels and helped me create the path that I walked. And I'm talking about public service and the link between public service and social justice. I feel very strongly about both topics, and I believe in many ways they are indeed related. And most importantly, I hope that some of the lessons or the lessons that I've learned, the mistakes I've learned, and sharing those with you here this evening will be inspiration to you and help guide you as you make your path. And hopefully some of the advice that I give to you will be worth more than you paid for. So let me start with public service. In my mind, public service really begins with the concept of advancing a cause. Now, advancing a cause, any cause, to me means more than advancing one's own personal agenda. For me, advancing a cause means finding a cause that's larger than yourselves, and then seeking to advance that larger cause. Finding a cause that's larger than yourself is really the key to public service, and that was the advice that former President Bill Clinton used to give when he talked about public service in the early 1990s. And now for me, those are my formative years as a baby lawyer, and that advice really hit home to me as I was beginning my career in law, and it still does. And certainly my current boss, the President of the United States, Barack Obama, also emphasizes the importance of public service. Obviously, he puts his own special spin on it, but you know the advice is essentially the same and is critically important. Now, since becoming United States Attorney, I had one memorable occasion, an unforgettable meeting with the President back in Washington, D.C. And he said something to us in that meeting that I still think about every day that I want to share with you this evening. Just to give you a bit of perspective, there are 93 United States attorneys throughout the country, and from time to time we get together to discuss mutual issues, priorities, initiatives that we're all working on. And we were in a conference in D.C., and we were told at that conference that one of the agenda items would be a White House briefing. But I, like many of my colleagues, assumed, quite frankly, that a representative from the White House would come, speak to us, and let us know about the President's priorities, his initiatives, and what he viewed important in the coming years. Little did I know that we would end up actually in the White House and sitting in a conference room, and I looked down the hall, and there walking down the hall was the President of the United States. And now, I don't care what side of the aisle that you were on, when he walked down the hall, there might as well have been theme music in the background from my perspective. I was just so shook. I mean, it was just an incredible, incredible opportunity. But really more than just the opportunity of meeting with him was what he told us at that meeting. And he said to us, look, I appointed each and every one of you. But at the end of the day, you don't work for me. You work for the people in your district and for the people in your community. And your job is to do the best you can to represent them each and every day. And those words really, really stuck with me, because working for the people of the United States every day really is about advancing a cause that's certainly larger than ourselves. And that advice is not specific to us in that room as United States Attorney, or it's gender specific or anything of that nature. Remember, the First Lady and the Secretary of State, Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton, had distinguished careers in their own right, and they made some of the exact same decisions with their legal careers to go into public service. The First Lady has spoken often about this so eloquently. She had stated, in my own life, in my own small way, I've tried to give back to this country that has given me so much. That's why I left a job at a law firm for a career in public service, working to empower people to volunteer in their communities, because I believe that each of us, no matter what our age, our background, or our walk in life, each of us has something to contribute to the life of this nation. I think that's a great way of describing public service, and I believe that those words will ring true for many of you here tonight as you all contemplate your future. For me, genuine social justice depends heavily on public service and on finding and advancing a cause that is larger than yourself. Of course, the pursuit of social justice and finding that cause that's larger than yourself are ultimately personal journeys for each of us. And it's a personal journey that can take its own path for each and every one of us. It can take as many paths, quite frankly, as the amount of graduates that we have here today. It can be with public advocacy groups, creative writing, organizational management. It can be in the legislature, the business world. It can focus on subjects as diverse as the environment, civil rights, economic empowerment, chronic homelessness, or conservation, just to name a few. Each of those paths is equally valid, and it's really a matter of personal choice and opportunity. And each of one of those paths can lead to that essence of personal fulfillment. And as you take these steps forward in making your road, go in with your eyes wide open, open enough to savor each and every minute of it, both the ups and the downs, because it is those experiences, in my humble opinion, that will help build upon the great foundation you've received here at this wonderful university. It will help you grow into that true being, that whole self that Dr. Boggs had talked about. I tell people all the time during my travels when I meet with externs, whether it was at my as Inspector General or at the U.S. Attorney's Office, that your job, you should be a sponge for knowledge and experience. Take it in at every opportunity, because as they say, this ride only goes one time, and I believe that when you savor that knowledge and experience, that road will indeed lead to fulfillment. So to put that in perspective, let me tell you a little bit about my journey towards fulfillment in the justice system. My legal journey began a long while ago in 1988, when I made that fateful decision to leave the Garden State of New Jersey to drive to Malibu, California, to enroll at Pepperdine University School of Law. When I came out here, I didn't know a single person in Los Angeles. I didn't know a single person in California. I came out here initially with the joy of the thought of having a little fun and sun in California. I mean, it's not that difficult of a choice. Exit 15W on the Turnpike. It's Malibu, California. What's not to like? But I also did have a more defined goal, if you will, but still not sure where it would lead me. I thought and hoped that one day I would be able to be a public servant in court, either as a deputy public defender or as a prosecutor. As it turned out, in my legal career, I've been both extremely blessed and proud to be able to say that I served as a public servant on both sides of the aisle in the courtroom, both as a deputy public defender and as a federal prosecutor. Because in truth and fact, I actually feel that the two roles, being both a public defender and a prosecutor, are entirely complementary rather than conflicting. For me, both of those roles were equally rewarding because in both capacities, I felt like I was fighting for the justice system in this country. And so I can truthfully say to you that as the paths in my legal career have taken each and every direction, it certainly took direction that was far beyond what I imagined when I graduated from college in 1988. In fact, when I was a baby public defender in the trenches in Los Angeles County, being a public defender during the riots and representing indigent clients all over this county, if you had told me that one day I would be the United States Attorney for the Central District of California, I would have thought, quite frankly, that you were crazy. You might as well have told me that I was going to be a doctor. So I can honestly say to you that truth certainly is often stranger than fiction, and that truly I made my road by simply walking it. And good things can and will happen that you can't even expect or anticipate. But I also know that for me, being appointed United States Attorney is not the end of the journey. In fact, it is really only the beginning, a beginning of the journey just like yours here this evening. And trust me when I tell you that the future is bright for each and every one of you in this room. Because today in 2011, all of us stand poised at a crossroads between the old roads that are behind us, roads that contain the barriers, the walls, and the ceilings of the past that have been broken and shattered by the trailblazers of previous generations. And that includes men and women of every race, creed, and color, and the new roads that lie ahead for each and every one of us. which are full of new opportunities, new challenges, and yes, perhaps even new barriers for you all to shatter. That is certainly an exciting proposition, and I envy each and every one of you as you step forward as graduates from Antioch University. I want to conclude with this important reminder. Each and every one of you, no matter what your walk in life, no matter what path you choose, you all have something to contribute to the life of this nation. You all have something huge to contribute to the life of this nation. Let us not miss the opportunity to transform the communities that we are so proud and privileged to be a part of. Ladies and gentlemen, to the graduates, this is indeed your time to shine. Don't forget that. And I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Thank you very much.